Hello, welcome to another episode of Commander Fodder. So this week I decided to crack open some virtual packs of Fallen Empires. And yeah, in the pack were a number of fungus. So I've just called this deck Spores because these generates these play around with spore counters. So yeah, there was the Thallid, the Spore Flower and the Thorn Thallid in there. Also, interestingly enough, there were these Havenwood Battleground and Hollow Trees. So I included those in the deck. Well, actually, sorry, roll that back. I noticed that there were, I think, one of these came up actually, but I noticed that there was a couple of cycles of lands in the set, so I figured out let's stick them in the deck as well. So yeah, the original virtual pool included these cards, and then I think one of these in the cycle, and then I thought, well, I'll add it to the starting pool. And then I've also got the appropriate lands from the core set at the time, 4th edition. And so because at that point in time, I try and tie these into around the time of the particular deck that I featured on Monday. So at that point, I think standard was something like 4th edition, Chronicles, Fallen Empires, Ice Age, Homelands and Alliances. So 4th edition, would have been in standard, would have been the set with the basic lands in. But of course with basic lands, if you're building a deck at the time, you could have used any basic lands from any sets. But I thought it'd be just interesting to do the 4th edition lands because of the time frame. So yeah, and of course, what commander do I want to use this? Well, I'm going to use Thelon of Havenwood. So 2 green for 2/2. Each fungus gets +1/+1 for each spore counter on it. It's actually black-green, which is why we're playing black mana here. Remove a fungus card in a graveyard from the game, put a spore counter on each fungus you play. So just looking at these quickly, you've got Thallid is a single green. It's a fungus. It's a 1/1. During your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thallid. 0, remove 3 spore counters from Thallid to put a sapling token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 green creature. So yeah, it means we've got saplings coming out. Spore Flower, 2 green, 0/1. During your upkeep, put a spore counter on Spore Flower. 0, remove 3 spore counters from Spore Flower. No creatures deal damage in combat this turn. And then Thorn Thallid, 1 and 2 green. Summon fungus 2/2. During upkeep, put a spore counter on Thorn Thallid. You can see a pattern here. Remove 3 spore counters from Thorn Thallid to have it deal 1 damage to any target. So the strategy is fungus and or sapling tokens. We'll see where the algorithm takes us. I think in edhrec it's probably about equal in terms of if you're choosing Thelon of Havenwood as a commander and looking at the different themes available, it's roughly equal to in terms of decks in edhrec for sapling tokens and fungi. So we'll see where this takes us. Okay. Now, it'd be interesting to see here. So there was some stuff from Time Spiral. There's quite a number of fungus or fungi, however you want to think about it, from that block. around the time of Time Spiral. So I suspect we'll see quite a few of those coming up. Some of them in here could be possibly reprints from the earlier era. I tend not to go systematically and look at the rest of the set too much. But let's see what we can get here. So heavy creatures, but let's do a pass through. I might just have a quick look and just see what things it's suggesting up front, and then just dogpile in with all the fungus. I remember, wasn't there a theme deck called Fun with Fungus? We may have even featured it, and I just don't remember. I did want to, definitely proliferate. Oh, and there's -1/-1 counters as well. So we're playing around with counters, so I am going to just put those in. That. Going to do the Signet here. I suppose if I've got small creatures, it would make sense to have a Skull Clamp at some point. Druidic Satchel, of course. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll put those in now, just in case things change. I don't know if they will. Enchantments. What do we got? Fungal Bloom. Spore counters. Some things here that mention Saproling tokens. Handy. Might as well put the other one in there. Just thematically. Yeah, I didn't put the black ones in actually. Change the view. You can see that I shoot these videos back to back because that would have been the view for the deck musings. Let's just add that in. So if I go back here, I can't remember the name of the card unfortunately. Fallen Empires and card type of land. Do that. So we already have that in. And in the Bottomless Vault. What other land do they have have here? Do I have any colour 2 mana pool? Oh. Control of Rainbow Veil passes to opponent at end of turn. No, leave it out. Right, I think. Oh, sorceries, yeah. Let's take a look at sorceries and planeswalkers, actually. Just to get a rough idea. It'll be interesting. I do want some proliferate in here. I'll make a mental note of that and we'll just see if that adjusts once I start adding creatures, but I'm just going to really just start adding all of these fungus, as many as I can. So we'll start at the top and work our way down. So this potentially could be a very short episode. Some interesting landfall there. Are we fungi all the way down? Wow. Okay. It's got proliferate on it. Interesting mana fixing there. Generating insect creatures as well. Right. Let's just put some utility in here before we go any further. So there's probably about another, I don't know, 8 to 9 creatures to still add. But I'm going to start adding in some support cards here. of that and that. Decisions. Okay. Instant wise, do we have anything yet? No. Right, that's the next thing then. So let's have a look. Fungal Rebirth, Putrefy. Sprout Swarm. It's got buyback on it. Death Sprout. Choose any number of bones and all those again. That looks pretty cool. Okay, another 11 cards. Let's just... we haven't had a look at Planeswalkers yet, so we'll do that. So we've got Vraska, it's suggesting. Draw a card, lose one life, proliferate. Treasure artifacts. Okay, one life. Discourage by that player loses the game. Interesting. You may sacrifice another permanent. If you do, you gain one life and draw a card. Just trying to think whether I don't want any more artifacts in here. It's interesting. Creatures you control are every creature type. I wouldn't mind just playing that in the deck. Okay, that leaves me with 3. So that will bring that up to a nice round 30. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so we've got a number of different things we could add in here. Card draw utility. Yeah, quite a few fungi. I've got to have a Mold Shambler. There we go. Okay. How's my curve looking? Ooh, okay, interesting. Oh, that's a pretty cheap deck. $86.66. Is that right? Or is it just missing certain... I wonder if some of these cards, the prices might not be quite right on them. Yeah, probably a few of these may... I think I noticed it was pulling in cards from other things like alchemy, so I suspect the card might be slightly more expensive. I don't know if I want to go through all of this and correct it, but potentially this could be a very cheap deck. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that as the price. Yeah, probably would have to go through some of these and fix. It's like a Modern Horizons card. Yeah, okay. So yeah, just assume that price on the deck up there is not necessarily accurate. You can see there's a number here where it's pulled in like remastered sets, and some of these might be, yeah, in their original form, fairly pricey. So it's a shame really, that happens sometimes. I tend not to correct it as I'm going along quite as much as I used to back in the day. So yeah, okay. So what we do now, let's export this, export some spores, and start to have a little bit of a play around. So let's go into the playtester. Right, that looks good. Okay, so we've got both of our colours. This is fairly easy to get out. It's just 2 green, so I can get out fairly early. One thing I didn't think through which probably you might want to change in the deck, is I don't think I've got many ways to protect this. That's the only thing. So yeah, just something to consider. Okay, these are all fairly low costing. So green, draw, green. What's that? Yeah, so the other thing with this deck, it's pretty, I imagine, cognitively intense. So I'm not going to go through all the different interactions here. I just really want to see how the cards roll out in terms of the curve. So let's do that, play that out. We've got Whisper the Dross, which I think is one with Proliferate on it, although we're not generating here, so Proliferate would be for counters. So yeah, with these sort of single shot proliferates, there are some repeat ones. Obviously you want to just time it so that it leverages most either the presence of +1/+1 counters or the spore counters. So you can do that. So stuff is coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If I look at this, each fungus gets plus each spore counter on it. So yeah. So of course that's pumping up any of these as spore counters as well, which is good. This, I can kick it. If I kick it, what happens? It's X1/1 green sapling creature tokens onto the battlefield. Okay. So yeah, definitely would want to kick that. Grim Affliction. Yeah, I can use that on an opponent. Proliferate. More Thallids. So yeah, it's just a question of making sure that I can get all my stuff out. So yeah, I'll play. I think in terms of mana here, apart from these scalable ones, I don't know how many I've got with like X-Cost or Kicker. From this point on, everything should be castable. Yeah. Yeah, so that's good. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just do this. Okay, again, we're good. Smell Fear, Fungal Rebirth, Second Harvest. What did that one do? Exile. Okay. That's cool. So green. Draw. Ooh. Okay, very tempting. In that case, is there anything that I can get out which leverages? I don't know if there is. Got an enchantment there. Yeah, I don't think I can get both things out here. So okay, just do that. And then I can get Soul Ring out. And Necrogenesis. Yeah, these are all just ones that I'd want to keep. Okay. Lead, good. Boom. Another Thallid. 5, 4. Mold Shambler is removal. But I think, yeah, you have to kick it, so I was using that for removal. So we do have a number of cards here which really are dependent on what our opponent's doing. Well, you can see some have got Proliferate stapled to them. There's another enchantment. Yeah, all forests and so yeah, that's not too bad. A little bit lumpy there. Let's try again. Let's see. So this is good. We've got 3. Okay. 1. Draw. Can't play that till turn 4. What's this do? Okay, so now we might start to run into problems. Phew, okay. Yeah, that's... Again, with stuff like this, probably want to save it to invest the maximum amount of mana into it. There's a number of cards like that. And again, with all of these, normally you'd be doing stuff with the tokens. Yeah. Stuff is just rolling out here. It's stuck on 4 mana though. That's the only problem. That I can cast at some point. Yeah, stuff is rolling out, but I am stuck in terms of I can't kick the Mold Shambler. And I can't do anything with this useful. That's obviously dependent on what my opponent might play, as is that. So, yeah, we got some proliferate stuff here as well. Okay. Yep. So, I'd obviously be doing interesting stuff with this as well. So let's have a look and do this. So far, we've not been completely stuffed mana wise. The first time we've seen a Golgari Rot Farm. Obviously this works nice with like 1-drops where you've got, tap this for a 1-drop and then get that out before you play your land, then play this, bounce this back into your hand. So I'll get that out. So I would have bounced one of these back to my hand. I suppose seeing as I can't play anything, now's as good a time as any to get out my comes into play tap stuff. Yeah, we're rather mana flooded now. opposite problem. And we're not seeing any creatures as a consequence. But we are building up quite a body of mana. Of course, I could be spitting out oh, we haven't got any. Yeah, can't be activating that then. What about this one here? What could we be doing in the meantime? So this is the problem with this deck. You really need other stuff. I suppose I could 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. I could. Of course, I would have been building up counters on this as well, because I'm not casting anything. Yeah, so that would, I could get that out, and also sack this to have even more mana. So that would work really well. Oh, it's command tower. So yeah, more stuff. So how much more land is there going to be coming through? Okay, so now we're starting to see creatures, right? One more thing. Keep this. Probably want to use that to get black mana, so that'd be a thing. Okay, but not too bad. Soul Ring. Okay, so it's starting to filter through, right? But that could slow me down a little bit. Okay, I think I'll stop it there actually. So we'll go back to the deck. Final thoughts on the deck. Well, I'm wondering whether I could afford to cut back a little bit on the land. Not sure about that. It's funny, we've got 30 creatures in the deck, but we were just definitely seeing a lot of other support cards. But again, that's difficult to evaluate when you're goldfishing the deck, because some of those cards you'd be utilising against opponents. That's the only thing. So I imagine that your hand would get empty. But the only trouble here is, of course, you've got these things there stapled together, so timing is very important. Like, you don't want to blow, you proliferate. Obviously if you're desperate to remove a creature, then that's fine, but it would be nice to be able to leverage this. And that's the only problems with, when you're getting two things for one. You do have to really think about the timing. Seeing if there's anything that really sticks out here. You know what I didn't do? I forgot to adjust the mana. Yeah, so that definitely needs work on it, actually. Yeah. Okay. Although it didn't seem to affect us too badly with that. At the moment I always start with equal amounts of mana anyway. So worst case scenario in this deck, you can see there are quite a number of cards with double green mana, but they are quite far up the curve. So take that back. Some of these here, but yeah, it didn't seem to cause a problem. too much. So that'll probably be the next thing I do would be to tweak this and then just try a few sample hands just to make sure that see how low I can go in terms of the swamps. There might be some additional utility I might want to add here, like there's some nice cards that generate black mana that, you know, disrupt opponents' graveyards and things like that. So there we have it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next video.